I'm glad you could find time to join me today. This is The Point, and I am Miriam Ogutu. Now, event management is a business that is doing pretty well in other parts of the country. But is that the same case in Kenyan market? Well, my guest today is an innovator and an entrepreneur, quite young at age, and he's the CEO of Nova Concepts Limited.
Yes, the Nova Concept.
George Peter.
Yes.
Ngodo.
Yes, Ngodo Maina.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
You have 4 names.
Yes, I have 4 names, thank God.
Some of us just have 2.
Well, I think we can always add another.
We can always add other names. So
Yeah.
nice to have you on the show.
It's a huge pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us, what is Nova Concept?
Now, the Nova Concept is it's divided into 2. There is the management aspect, and there is the planning aspect. So I'll talk about the management aspect of the Nova Concept. This is where we come in as the bridge between the client and the supplier, where we come, I'll give an example of any hotel where they're having an end-of-year party, any corporate, where we come in and help them implement the ideas, because I think everyone in their life has an event that they would love to be part of, their dream event in your mind. So
So you make the dreams come
yeah,
true.
that's our job. What the client wants, we don't go in and tell them, okay, this is what we'll do for you. We just sit down and I ask you questions. What do you want? What do you want at the event? And then I tell you, we can do this, because I think the long-term aspect of a business is to be honest with your clientele. So I think now about the planning part is where we are the actual event organizer, where we form our own, we contract our own speakers, our own MCs, our own DJs, our own vendors, and we put together an event where our client, now the client is the fan to the artist or the speaker who's coming, be it an A-list artist or the usual Nigerian artist. So, yeah.
So Nigerians are just usual.
I think I wouldn't say they're overrated in Kenya, but yeah.
Yeah. So what inspired you to start Nova, and what does even Nova mean, the name Nova? What inspired that?
Nova is a star. I think that's something. Nova is a intergalactic star. What inspired me to call the company Nova? I think Nova is the least used name in Kenya. I think out there, because me doing my research on what I can call my company, there was a whole list of names I had to go through to come up with a name, because I could have just called it my name, and it could have been something. But then I wanted to give it the uniqueness of being a company.
It's quite unique and captivating as well.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. So you are the CEO.
Yes, I am the CEO and the founder. I have.
And you're only 21.
Yes, I'm 21, turning 22
So
this year.
you couldn't wait to turn legal for you to start your business, or what?
Yeah, I think me growing up was it was the usual we like call it scripted life, where I have to go to school, then in future hope to get a job.
Yeah, hope to be employed.
Yeah, and then, but I just decided at a point, the event industry it's quite vast, and it's very competitive in Kenya, where everyone wants to do an event, everyone wants to do a club event, an outdoor concert, but at the end of the day, where people end up failing is where you don't talk to your clients first. You hear, even if the client wants a Nigerian artist, I think, you do that. The client always knows best.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what is your main objective? When you're carrying out your work.
My main objective is to make the client happy.
Are there instances you fail to do that?
Yes, I think in every business, any investor or any corporate will tell you there's always the failures.
Can you remember one of them? Maybe share if you can.
The failures.
No, just one that you didn't make the client happy.
So yeah,
And what lessons did you learn from that moving forward?
So yeah, so there is one instant sometime last year. Allow me not to mention the names for other bases.
I understand.
So sometime last year, we get into a contract with an A-list artist, where we agree, okay, we'll pay you this amount, knowing it's a new company. I must say, for me, I think one mistake that I made at that point is thinking I could do it immediately. The company is registered in June. I can do an event in August, a huge event in August. So we contract the artist, and he listens because his job is to make money for his brand. He listens and gives us a contract, and you're given this span of time to make the contract work and pay down payments. So let's say we made a huge, we had made.
So the deadline came and you didn't have the money to pay the artist.
Yeah, we actually didn't pay the artist. So
did
what
he
happened?
come to perform, or did they come to perform?
The contract had to be terminated, and if the guy was a bad person, or its management was a bad person, we could have gone ahead and told him he would have sued us because we breached the contract.
Yeah.
But he didn't. We sat down and talked. He understands we are young. We need to make those mistakes as we grow. Because I told him, hey, we're just a few months old. We're 2 months old.
So what comprises of the Nova team?
The Nova team is made up of 10 people. 10, if I'm not wrong. There's me. There's me as the CEO. I have a managing director. It's a lady. I needed to balance the team.
Gender sensitive?
Yeah, I think it goes a long way. Comprises of young individuals between the age of 20 and 25. But as we've grown, we've gotten to partner with people way older, in their 30s, their 40s. But at the end of the day, we've gotten the chance to, the people I get to get into my team to work with. I prefer them being young because I think it's something even Mr. Chris Kirubi insists on. If you get the opportunity to work with young people, make it a point of, don't threaten their livelihoods. Make it a point of growing it further because they're carrying on the generation to the next year.
Okay. Are there specific requirements for one to join your team?
No. I think...
What do you look for when you pick somebody to join your team?
First, I think for me, I'm the only person who goes after the CV last. I think for me, even most people have asked me when they've asked, they want a job and then they go like, can I send my CV? I said, no, let's meet first.
Oh, wow.
Let's meet and let's talk. Let me hear what you have. Because I think the CV is so overrated right now. Where you need the experience, you need the 5-year experience to even work for someone. But the youth right now, you've studied for, if you're doing medicine, you've studied for 7 years, where you're getting 5 years experience. You just left campus. Where will you get? I think for me, I look for ambition first. What you stand for. If you're willing to dream further, if you have dreams, come into our team and let's grow together. I think at the end of the day, as long as I'm going somewhere, I'll take you with me. For me, I always tell my team, I'm not your boss. I want to get to a point where where my company has grown so big that I can give my employees a share of the company. So that it doesn't seem like I'm the lord of everything.
I'll come for a share. You keep growing, I'll come.
Feel free.
So how would you compare event management in Kenya, say, compared to the US or other first world countries?
At the moment, in the US, the event industry is quite advanced. Even let's not even go to the US. Let's go to Uganda.
Yeah, I hear their side is quite different.
Yeah, tell me really, about that. I think for Uganda, for East Africa even, I think Kenya is the only place in East Africa where events are the least attended. where you can go to Uganda with an artist like Diamond and he pulls a crowd of 20,000 people. You bring him to Kenya, you charge the tickets at its lowest at 1,500, and only 1,000 people show up.
Wow.
It's the same place you can bring someone like Wizkid, Africa's biggest artist.
He is the Africa's biggest artist, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where you can bring him and you can take him to Tanzania and he pulls 40,000 people. Take him to his own country.
He pulls the whole country.
He pulls the whole country to a stadium and it's full that he can't even move around.
And then when he comes here?
When he comes here, you get less than 2,000 people.
So maybe because the tickets are expensive.
No. I think the tickets, even in the States, where a ticket goes like for $10, the least, that's like 1,000. Where you go to that's a rock concert. No, not even a rock concert, a normal concert. Because rock is a whole other market that's more classy and more expensive. Where you go to, it's for Kenya, it's less expensive. It's like 1,500. That's like $15. It's not really expensive, because for him, if he goes to the States or to London, where like Wizkid performs the most, he'll get more crowd and more money, where he's charging even more than he would charge for Kenya, but people still don't go to the event. I think even for our local market, I won't even go to Nigeria and talk about them. I think it's about time Kenya can bring Shinski. He can go to a stadium and fill it up, because it's our own brand. We believe in it. I'll give you a good example.
Is that why our artists are broke? Because you don't fill this event?
I think as much as I'll put this...
Well, some of them are not broke. Like Jaguar, my member of parliament.
Well, they're not. I think the problem is not believing in our own, because I think as much as we love our country, our athletics, there's so much more beyond athletics. Kenya
so are we not patriotic enough?
Yeah,
what is
not.
The problem?
I think believing in our own brands, because let me give you an example that happened. I think it's when were the IAAF
just in July, I think.
July? Yeah, I think in July.
End July, just
end
before
of July.
The elections.
Where even it had to get to a point for Kenyans to be drawn to that stadium. It needed real influencers to run them into that. You see people like Extiandela.
Yeah, and Jeff Koinange.
Yeah, rallying people. There are people to go to the stadium and fill the stadium. But I think we need to take pride in our own. It doesn't really mean when someone like Kemboi goes to London, people fill the stadiums, and you see white people carrying our flag. I think it's time we build our own brands, we invest in our own, and I think given time, given the much energy that's needed, I think we can do better. I think it needs to get to a point where an artist, even an upcoming artist, can bring a show, can bring people to a show.
Okay, this is the point, and my guest today is the CEO for Nova Concept Limited. So, Peter.
Yeah.
Karibu tena.
Thank you.
So, is this the event management, before I get to a loss that you've incurred? Hopefully not so much damage was caused. But is this a business that you would encourage young people to pursue?
For me, at the moment, I think yes, we need fresh ideas. We need, but as part of the fresh ideas, they can always come and share them with me, and we can grow them.
So you would encourage young people to pursue this as a career?
Yeah, I would. I think it's event management is just a scope of the hospitality industry and the tourism part. I think the hospitality and tourism industry in Kenya, it has a lot to offer. It needs the young people to just tap into it. You really don't have to go to school and be an engineer or a doctor. It really doesn't have to follow that path. Okay. It doesn't have to be scripted in every way.
Okay.
I think as much as there are doctors out there, they also need to party sometime.
The doctor needs to party. Yeah. I think I need to start partying.
Yeah, you should.
So next time you have an event, I might try to bring Gemma along. Okay. So, of course, with every business, there is a risk of loss, and sometimes I think, like in your type of business, sometimes the risk is just too high.
Yeah.
So have you incurred a major loss, the money that was put to sponsor an event or to take an event, and then you did not get back the profit?
Yes, I think to even run an event perfectly, to start an event even from the planning phase to go to, for it to get where, an event is successful the moment the stage is set down. The next morning where the stage is just brought down, it's cleaned up, then you go back to your books and say, okay, honestly, if you can put 10 million into an event, into working on an event, and then you don't, I always say it's not always about making the most profit. Mostly, in most opportunities, you just get to breaking even where you just make the money you put into the event. That's good because you retain your money, but at the end of the day, if you don't make even 100 bob out of as a profit, that should be considered a loss.
Okay.
I think, but I think an event is made up of marketing, how you market your event. If you go to mostly mass marketing, where you go to the billboards and TV and social media, even though I turned social media is quite, it can lie to you in a lot of ways, because
really?
People,
I thought it's the biggest marketplace right now.
For people to see, because I think where most events fail is that people think
so likes cannot translate into money.
No, they never do. They never do. You can get 100,000 likes on a video, but
that doesn't translate.
People won't show up. But I think when you sit down and you see the crowd that's come to the event, honestly, I base my events a success by not how many tickets have been bought, but by what has been bought in the event. I think ticket costs are the least that we concentrate on, and I think it should happen even with other organizers, where selling a ticket should be the least of your worry.
Well, if you have sponsors, then but sometimes you need that to actually accrue back your profit. So to others, tickets sometimes might matter.
Not really. Because you can sell 100 tickets. And if you can get to control the food, water, alcohol in an event, and let's just say, let me just give you the list you can get out of just selling water. Let's say you go to industrial area, you buy a bottle of water at 15 bob, or even the small one, you buy it at 7 bob. You go to an event and sell it at 100 bob. Because where there is alcohol, there is water.
Okay.
I didn't know that. People will have to drink at the end of the day. So if you can, on top of that, you bought it at 15 bob. You'll end up having 85 bob on profit just for one bottle.
Okay.
And let's say you have like 500 people at the event. You see, the profits end up adding up. Just you make more out of one person just by drinks, food, and just water. Just those, you make more from a ticket, from one ticket. Okay. So I think
so we just need them to come in.
We just need them to come in.
So make the ticket if affordable enough to have more people come in.
I think the other aspect, the downside to that is that when you make a ticket too cheap, it encourages another crowd
that will not afford to buy the water at 100.
Yeah, that will come to the event
with their own water
to do other things than party. You get. So when you sell the ticket at low prices,
Yeah.
so you just have to put it at a
It
point.
comes with other challenges.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what gives you satisfaction? Which part of your job gives you satisfaction?
I think being able to move on from one event to the next, where at the end of the day you can close your books, and if you're managing someone's event, the client can tell you you did good, even though I don't think you can plan a perfect event where you don't make mistakes. I think an event is also like an election. It's really not an event, it's really a process. To an event to really happen, it's a huge process. So at the end of the day, when you can sit down with your clients, even if it's a concert, when you can go on social media and read and talk about and see what people are responding, because people will talk after the event. The response from the crowd will tell
Then
you,
you
okay,
can
we'll go.
gauge
Yeah.
the success of the
You can
event.
see from that.
Okay. So, what does the future look like for Nova?
The future is bright. It's quite. I say. I think one thing I always tell my team is that success is on its way. I can feel it coming at some point.
It's gradual.
Yeah, it's. I think for us, we're not concentrating on the short term. We're not. I think being young, people think that when you're young, you're just in it for the money. I think for me, I'm in it for the long term goal. I think for me, I started this to build a network that will take us to 5 years, partners that will take us to 5 years.
So you don't plan to stop and go pursue other
No,
career?
I think you can make a life out of events. You can make a good life out of events.
Because events will always happen anyway.
Yeah, people will always party. Most people, I think in Kenya, spending in a year, they spend billions into entertainment only. So there's money for events in Kenya. There's money for partying in Kenya. And I think it's time we believe in our own and lower the money aspect of it. But I think when you put in the hard work into something, the money will come. The end process, the end process of hard work is money. So I think when you stop rushing towards the end and just put in the hard work first, I think you end up going further.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which has been your biggest headliner event that you've done?
I think for the events we've done, I don't think there's the headliner yet.
Really?
No. I think when I'll have a headliner when I fill Kasarani Stadium.
Okay. So
When
when are you
it's
planning
filled.
to do that?
It's a working process.
But you're working on something.
Yeah, we're working on something.
Okay.
It's-
Will you let me know in good time?
Yeah, we will. We will let you know. We'll get your tickets on time.
Okay. So what would you advise young people who are out there, they've gone to school, they have their degrees at home, or others, maybe they're not lucky enough to pursue their education and things like that, and they're just sitting there waiting for somebody to employ them. What can you tell them about creativity and entrepreneurship and looking for opportunities?
I think one thing that I really discourage is the notion of Sarikari's idea. Well, I don't think the government will come to your house and give you a job. I think it's if you're going to get a job, it's up to you to go out there and create it. Because there will always be someone who has something better than you. There will always be someone who has a higher degree, who has a master's. And being the industry, the employment part of it, you're competing with over 800,000 graduates, where you end up being discouraged and you hang up your degree and you turn to other petty crime. I think that's the problem we are facing with the youth as we speak. So for me, I think for someone who's in the city, I think you can start something. Even you can vending on the street. I think the hawkers will tell you they make an aspect of profit per day, where even if you're in a country, your neighbor has a garden. I think even if your neighbor doesn't, I think your parents do. tend to that farm. Even if you need to borrow money, tell them you're going to repay it in 3 months, or when you harvest. I think when you put in the work, you can never be unemployed. Even if even if you just have one chicken. At the end of the day, if it hatches and it gets to you get more eggs, you can sell, or you get.
Okay. Okay. So just before we finish, because our time is almost up.
Yeah.
When you're coming to when you're starting this business, what gap did you see, and have you been able to bridge it so far? How would you gauge your success?
I think the gap in the hospitality and tourism industry will never be satisfied, because every year there is always something new. Like now, the biggest hotel, I think, is it in East Africa or in Africa, is being built in Nairobi. I think by that time there will be something new to do. And as much as, even when you're planning events, as much as we're bringing Nigerian artists, of which I still think it's too overrated in Kenya, I think it's time we think about something else. As much as we are bringing Nigerian artists, I think there's a larger scope. There are other people who can bring more profits to Kenya. So I think the gap where we need to graduate from Nigeria or
to the Caribbean.
Yeah, there's that, or there's the States too. The earliest artists, even if it's not earliest, people who
or rock even.
Yeah. Rock is
I would
something.
Come to that.
Yeah, that's also another market gap, a huge one. The rock, nobody has done.
You should probably do that soon. After you're done with that, you're planning. You should probably think about that.
It's really a work in progress.
I can give you ideas for a small fee.
For a ticket, though.
All right, George.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
It's been a pleasure.
Are you done?
I'm done.
I'm
good. Yeah, I'm good.
What you're saying. So there's still more room for improvement, and there's still more opportunities.
Yeah, we can improve. We can do better.
There's room for improvement.
Yeah, because we need to ensure Kenyans that the event goers need to trust the event planners. That we can do a good job at the end of the day. They can give them A-list events. Yeah, I think at the end of the day we need to create more awareness on what we do in the events. Yeah.
Okay. So George Peter Ngodo, Maina, the CEO of Nova Concepts Limited. It was wonderful to have you on the show today.
It's been a pleasure.
And all the best. And keep inspiring other young people out there to go out there and be creative and look for these opportunities, because they're out there.
Thank you. It's a huge pleasure being here.
Thank you for coming. This has been The Point. I am Miriam Mugutu. Thank you for watching.